Welcome. Today we're going to talk about vintage Eberhard. This is a lesser known brand that's slowly getting a little bit more appreciation by collectors, which is really exciting. There's a lot of models that that just have a very distinctive look that is unlike anything else you might see from the usual suspects. So let's start with an early diver. This is called the Scafograf 100. It's got some great triangular markers. Marked crown with the E logo. Really cool back with the seahorse on it. A great Gay Ferrers bracelet. It's unmarked Gay Ferrers, but I'm pretty sure that they're the manufacturer for this. It's got an expanding bracelet and just some really amazing patina here on this one, and a great logo. It's one of the things that attracted me to this brand. Next up is the Scaffold Graf 200. This is also known as the big crown version because it's got quite a large crown here, also marked with an E. Great patina on this one as well. The bezel's definitely seen some action and use as a diving watch. Another expanding bracelet, Gay Ferrers. The Eberhard logo on the clasp. Similar style seahorse engraving on the back. And end links are really hard to find for Eberhards. So if you find some with original end links, that's great. This one did not have original end links, and so but there's some aftermarket end links for Seikos that work just well. So. Next up is the Canto Graph. This is a great chronograph. This is 1960s. It's got a great black gilt dial there. It's so one of the cool things about this is it's got a date, and it's a roulette date that of course will advance as the watch is when it's wound, or it can be manually advanced through this pusher right here. It's a great profile on the diving watch here. I'm sorry, this is not a diving watch, but it's a great profile. It's reminiscent of a diving watch, some of the diving watches we have, but this is a chronograph not meant for diving for sure. Large crown with the E logo as well. Beautiful case back engraving. And this is on it's not the original bracelet, but it is a kind of a period correct Gay Ferrers bracelet. It looks a lot like the one it would have come on, except these have some hash marks on them and an unmarked clasp. You can see here the Gay Ferrers logo on this bracelet. But just a really great looking dial and a nice size too. These are about These are about 30, 38, 39 millimeters. And Eberhard was, for whatever reason, it was particularly popular in Italy, and also they had, for the time periods that they were most prominent, relatively large case sizes. This is the Contodat. This one shares the same movement as the Canto Graph that we just looked at. You can just see there the date advanced, highlighting the roulette date. So the previous date was in red, and this one, odd numbers, are in black. It's got a 50 marked in red. Supposedly that has to do with the speed limit in Italy around the time this was produced. So you could quickly figure out if you were speeding or not. Another great case on this one as well. The lugs are in decent shape for these. There's actually 3 surfaces here, and you can just see that. Some of it has been either worn or polished away over time. It has a similar pusher to the Canto Graph for advancing the date. You can see these two side by side here. Just really like these watches, very classic. And I like these flat pushers here, whereas the Kanto Graph has more of the traditional pump pushers you see on a lot of chronographs. Next up is a 1940s chronograph. This one, again, a really just cool case. This one had fixed lugs, so it's got an open strap where you fold these over and then loop around the fixed lugs of the watch, because it doesn't have spring bars where you can change out for a more conventional strap. It's a great dial on this one. The white dials are relatively less common than the darker dials that you typically see. Here's another great, kind of Calatrava style watch from Eberhard. This is probably 50s. Just shows their range. Really beautiful classic designs with the Roman numerals here. There's Roman numeral instead of IV for 4. You'll see a lot of these watches with Roman numerals used for just 4 ones, basically. I've heard several theories. I think the one that appeals to me most is that it just visually balances out with the 8 on the opposite side. Great case here. Again, fixed lugs, so we've got these open and watch straps here. This great strap from Vesper & Co. This is a great strap, by the way, from a yet-to-be-launched brand called Zeitgeist. And this one actually has a great strap from, I believe it's Vintage Watch Straps. I'll put a link in the show notes. Another great Calatrava from Eberhard, probably late 40s, 1950s, with some blued steel hands here on a salmon or copper dial. An unmarked crown on this one. I don't know if it's original or not. But just really great wrist presence and great wrist size. It's great on the wrist, especially for a more modern taste. This one here is about 37 millimeters. And I've got it on a Vesper strap as well, which I really like. This kind of, I believe they call it like a Saffiano style leather. And then last up here, another Calatrava from Eberhard. Relatively simple dial layout, but very classic. Marked crown as well. This was a kind of a chromed case. You can see it's starting to show its age. Again, that great logo on the case back. And another strap from Vintage Watch Straps. All right, just a sampling of what Vintage Eberhard has to offer. Thanks.